Hey guys, so today I'm actually doing my own taxes on TurboTax and I came across the definition of a real estate professional, and TurboTax is pretty user friendly. I've been doing my own taxes on TurboTax for the past 8 years, and in the beginning it was hard, right? I own 90 units of real estate, um, myself, single member LLCs, W-2. So, initially it gets hard, but as you get more and more used to it and you add your properties, it gets easier and easier. It's been pretty user friendly for me. It walks you through and it gives you a lot of definitions. And TurboTax, they actually have forums um, to kind of ask common questions on, like, oh, like, how do I do single member LLCs? Like this year, I am documenting because I sold my mobile home park in 2023, so I need to document that, and I will share my process of that on TurboTax. This is the first time for me, but first, I want to share about the real estate professional definition as it reads on TurboTax. So let me flip the screen here and show you. So as you can see here, it's going to ask you right when you go into the business section, and then you'll have the rental property. It'll ask you, do you have rental properties, yes or no? So I click yes. So basically, so far, it says you're not a real estate professional. And then it says here, real estate professionals may pay less taxes since their rentals are considered a business. We'll determine if this applies to you, right? So what's really nice is you can click, oopsies, you can click learn more. So as you can see here, you're considered to be a real estate professional if one, more than half of your personal services you provide during the year were performed in a real property trade or business in which you materially participate, and the number of hours in which you materially participate in this real property was more than 750 hours, and you must materially participate each rental real estate activity unless you file an election to group all rental real estate activities as one and materially participate in that activity. So, every time I read this, I'm learning, but probably for me, if I were to go down this route, down the road, I would probably do the file an election to group all rental real estate activities as one. So basically, and it defines here. So number one, you must materially participate. Number two, you must spend more than 750 hours. And a real property trade or business means any real estate development, redevelopment, construction, reconstruction, acquisition, conversion, or rental operation, management, leasing, and brokerage, trade, or business. So as you can kind of see here, like, it's actually really hard to qualify as a real estate professional. Like for me, I work a full-time W-2, and it's kind of hard for me to qualify, right? Because I have 40 hours a week towards my W-2. As you can see here in this definition here. So I think this one's a little bit easier than this definition, to be honest. And this is how I usually go by. So you qualify as a real estate professional if you spend more than 750 hours a year actively involved in real estate. So sales, management, etc. And I've completed records for this time. So as always, you always want to document all your hours in real estate, right? So let's just say you're a real estate agent, and then you want to document you spent whatever 3 hours of a client. Then you want to put the date. You want to write a brief description of what you did, and then you want to document how many hours, right? This could be as simple as an Excel document. That's what I'm probably going to do if I do qualify as a real estate professional. And then the second part is I spent more than 50% of my work-related time involved in real estate. So this is what gets most W-2 people. So for example, for me, I work 40 hours a week. So there's no way that I would meet that 50% rule, as you can see right there, right? So I may spend more than 750 hours actively involved in real estate, but I don't qualify because I don't have that more than 50% because I work full time, 40 hours a week as a pharmacy director. So, don't try to skirt that. If you work full time, then you don't qualify. But let's just say, hey, you maybe work 20 hours a week as a W-2, right? Maybe I work 20 hours a week as a pharmacist, and then I can document that I work, let's say, 25 hours or at least 21 hours a week in real estate. And at that case, I may qualify. But also, you have to know that, maybe you work part-time and let's say you're making $100,000. 20 hours a week, you make $100,000. But let's just say you do 21 hours of real estate and you make, like, let's say $50,000. So in that case, it's a little bit hard to sell that. It kind of seems like a hobby not as an actual business. So I think the safest bet is, obviously, if let's just say I'm doing 20 hours a week as a pharmacist making 100,000, and let's say I'm doing 21 hours as a real estate agent, I just want to make sure that I also make more than 100,000 as a real estate agent over like at least 3 years, right? The first 3 years, it takes a while to ramp up, but after 3 years, you should definitely be making more than your pharmacist job to make it a little bit more believable. So this definition to me is very clear. And then what's kind of nice is if you click on this learn more, they'll kind of tell you like the breakdown, right? So I think this one's a little bit easier to understand. You materially participate in real property trade or business. More than half of your time is involved in real estate activities. You materially participated for more than 750 hours in this business, and you materially participate in each rental real estate activity. So right here, it defines the real estate activity, so development. So if you're a developer, if you're in construction, so let's say you're building an ADU in the backyard, for example, redevelopment, reconstruction, acquisition, conversion, rental operation, management, leasing, brokerage. And down here it says joint returns. These requirements are met if either you or your spouse satisfy them, right? So that's probably the route I have to go down. Whereas me, as long as I work at W-2 as a pharmacist, I'm not going to qualify. But let's say I get married, and let's just say my future wife only works 8 hours a day as a pharmacist, and then maybe she gets a real estate license, and she does a lot of brokerage, or maybe she does a lot of rental operation if we get a short-term rental, in which case collectively, if we file joint, we will qualify as a real estate professional. So the passive losses of real estate can offset my active W-2 income, right? So hopefully this kind of gave you some value, some clarity. But what I want to make it clear is that it should be hard to qualify as a real estate professional. If you think it's easy to qualify as a real estate professional, most likely you are abusing it, and this will increase your chance of being audited, right? So once again, for me, when I'm working at W-2, there's no way I'm going to qualify as a real estate professional, right? But let's just say I was married, and then my wife just worked part-time as a pharmacist. By part-time, I mean like 20 hours or less. And then she does, let's say, 21 hours plus as a real estate agent, or maybe she's managing some Airbnbs that we own or short-term rentals that we own, and she has to document those hours. And then, but also the income coming from that should be more than your W-2, right? So that's why like short-term rental route is very popular, is because like, let's just say I'm working part-time as a pharmacist and I'm making $70,000. If you just own like, let's just say one short-term rental that your wife's managing, in that case, let's just say you're making like $10,000 a month gross, right? That's not your net, but let's say $10,000 a month gross, and that's $120,000 a year. In which case, you're making $70,000 as a part-time pharmacist and $120,000 as a short-term rental operator. In that case, you're making more money. You're spending 50% more of your time, and you're doing more than 750 hours in the property. So that's a lot more believable, right? Or if you don't go down that short-term rental operation route, you have to become a realtor. So hopefully this gave you some clarity or further confused you about the real estate professional status, but it's a great tax loophole that you do. This is how the people pay zero taxes. Like, let's just say I make $200,000 on my W-2, and me and my wife, we qualify as a real estate professional, and I have negative $200,000 in passive losses in real estate, which I do, right? Like, I have that every year because I did 2 value-add real estate properties. And let's just say I make $200,000 as active income. I have negative $200,000 as passive losses. I'm a real estate professional, so that offsets my W-2 income. So I effectively pay zero in tax, and that will, my tax bracket's around 30% for simplicity. So if I'm making $200,000, that's almost $70,000 in tax. So I'd get back a check of $70,000, right? But if you're going to do that route, make sure you document your hours to prove that you are indeed a real estate professional, right? So something as simple as an Excel document that you just document your date, what you did, and how many hours it spent, right? So hopefully this gave you some clarity as to what real estate professional is, and hopefully this maybe encourages you to maybe do your own taxes on TurboTax. I'm not sponsored by TurboTax, maybe one day, but I'll continue to kind of share more as I do my taxes this year after doing it for 8 years. So hopefully you found value from this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.